Welcome everyone to Scouts Terrain.
Our data import wizard is used for a multitude of different reasons. One, if you're moving from another system onto Scouts Terrain, such as moving from Pioneer Tracker to Scouts Terrain. Two, if your group has just recently moved to the new youth program and you're entering information against our youth members that have had achievements in the old award scheme. And three, if you have a new member joining your group who needs to be benchmarked against their skills and knowledge to then start on their achievement pathways. The first component to do with Scouts Terrain is to log in. So you need to navigate to Scouts Terrain by going to terrain.scouts.com.au. You're going to select your branch, type in your membership number, and enter the password in which you have already set yourself for Scouts Terrain. If this is your first time logging in, you'll need to enter your date of birth in year, month, date. So for example, if you were born on the 1st of the 6th, 1990, you will enter 1990-06-01. For more information on logging in, you can go to the Forget Password button, the Can't Log In information page, or read our one-pager on logging into Scouts Terrain. And you'll be taken to our Basecamp page. As you can see currently, our developers are still working on these components in preparation for the launch early next week to all of our Pioneer Tracker users. But what you will see that first pops up here is Basecamp or our leader view. This is where you'll navigate from and to through Scouts Terrain, and we'll do some more explanation videos on that a little bit later in the piece. To get to the data import wizard, you're going to go over to the left-hand side of the screen and press on the Members tab. This will bring up every member within your Scout group. What you'll need to do is organise the units and patrols and then all the members in those units and patrols before you do the data import. So you're going to go to the Units tab, and down the bottom left, you'll see the button Create Unit. You're then going to enter the name of your unit and which section it belongs to. And you can do this for as many units that belong within your Scout group. Once you've entered all units, you're then going to go to the Patrols tab and go through the same process. So create patrol, add the name of the patrol and which unit it belongs to. Once you've organised those two things, you're going to go back to the All tab where you can organise your members into their units and patrols. So for example, Karen from New South Wales might be a Scout, and she might be in the Taco Patrol. You can also organise duties from this page, so whether the member is a unit leader, patrol leader, or assistant patrol leader, and whether they belong to the unit council. So we would expect, obviously, our unit leaders, patrol leaders, assistant patrol leaders, and any adult leaders in the section to belong to the unit council within Scouts Terrain. Once you've organised the group, you then can do the data import. So if I'm to come over here and I've got this button that says import data or not required. There are very few times in which we would see the not required button being used. Most times we would see some form of import data needing to occur before the member can start having achievements recorded and before they and yourselves as adult leaders can interact with that individual within the system. So what's going to happen is you're going to press on the Import Data tab, and let's say we're going to do it for Mariah down here. When you get to the Data Import Wizard landing page, you'll see a few components. You'll see the name of the youth member involved, what section you are currently entering data for that youth member. So you can actually enter data from across sections depending on how many sections they've been involved within your Scout group, and which component of the program that you can enter data against. This data import can only occur once, and it's only for that first interaction of the adult to make sure information gets into the system for the youth member. So youth and adults can start recording achievements against that youth member. If this data import is not ticked, or the no import isn't ticked, then youth members will not be able to interact with the system. And likewise, as the data is inputted and you press save, it can't be edited or changed once that process occurs. So we're going to enter through the achievement pathways, first against our introduction to Scouting. We're going to click the Add button. Now we're going to enter the date in which this youth member joined Scouting, in essence. So you will see here that this youth member is in the Scout section. Let's say they joined in the Cub section. So let's say they joined in 2017, in August of 2017, and we'll just go Thursday, the 31st of August. You're going to press OK. You'll get this little prompt that says, if you're unsure about the date, enter today's date. This is really about making sure that you're entering a date that is roughly aligned with when they may have achieved that component. So as I said, as this is the introduction to Scouting, pretty much roughly enter the date in which this youth member joined the organisation. Going to press save, and you'll get this little achievement saved successfully button here. And you'll see that there's no way now that I can edit that component of the achievement pathways for Maria. So it's really important that when we're entering, we are entering correct and factual information at every step. We're then going to change to our introduction to section, and this is the same process that we did for our introduction to Scouting. So as Maria is now in the Scout section, let's say she got her introduction to section last year in May. And once again, let's go Friday the 31st of May. Save. Introduction to section complete. We're then going to go to our Program Essentials milestones. So Maria, as we've just allocated, has been in the Scout section now for roughly 12 to 18 months, which means she will have completed probably milestone 1 and maybe about to start working on milestone 2. So if we go over here to add, you'll see this status button here and it says awarded. This can change to be awarded, in progress, or not required. Awarded obviously is self-explanatory. If the youth member has already achieved that component, then it will be listed as awarded. You will list it in progress if the youth member is still reaching towards that Program Essentials milestone, or if they have mapped partway through a milestone when you transition programs. And the not required will be for youth members that join the section partway through a section's time. So as we know, the milestones are roughly time-based. So let's say Maria actually joined the Scout section at 13, you would waive the need for Maria to do milestone 1 and start her roughly on milestone 2. So that's why you would select the not required. For now, we're going to go awarded for milestone 1 for Maria. And you'll see here we've got our plus and minus buttons to enter the amount of participates, assists and leads that Maria has done. So for milestone 1, as we're aware, there's 24 participates in total, so 6 in each challenge area. There's 2 assists, so she's done a community and a personal growth challenge, and Maria has led an outdoor challenge. The date in which this was awarded was last month on Monday, the 1st of June. You can see this component again. If you're not sure, roughly enter today's date, but try and be a little bit more precise, enter a month or a year. You then need to make sure you scroll back up to the top before you go to milestone 2 to click the save button, remembering to check all components before you press save. And you'll get that achievement saved successfully. We're then going to award Maria part or in progress for milestone 2 and say that she's attended 2 community, a personal growth, and she happens to have already assisted an outdoor challenge. Once that's complete, we're also going to press save. And that's going to push into Maria's view of the system once Maria logs in for the first time. We don't need to enter anything for Maria against milestone 3 because she's not yet towards that milestone. So we're going to go back up the top and click on down to special interest areas. Now, special interest areas are slightly different to the introduction to scouting and section because you can enter a little bit of project information. So as we know, special interest areas, you'll select the type of special interest area the project belonged to. You can write the name of the project. So let's say it was a robotics truck build. And you can actually enter a little bit of a blurb next to that, which will push through to Maria's view of the system and be there so she doesn't lose all data from the system. This is only for special interest areas that have been completed under either using Pioneer Tracker or in the mapping process. This doesn't capture special interest areas that are in progress, and for that, the youth member and or the adult will need to use the profile of the youth member to actually enter those details against their profile if they are in progress special interest areas. We're going to go date awarded for Maria was March this year and press save. And you can do that for as many special interest areas that Maria has completed under the new program or that have mapped from old award scheme badges through this process. So once you've entered all special interest areas for the youth member, you're then going to go into outdoor adventure skills. Okay, outdoor adventure skills. There's a few steps involved here, and we would actually see this component being used anytime a youth member joins the movement, probably from the Scout section or above. The reason for that is our introduction to sections call for a benchmarking of the youth member against their outdoor adventure skills when they do join the section. So you know roughly what skills they've already got, and then they can work at progressing on those. So in this process, we have a toggle on the left that has the 9 different outdoor adventure skills areas. and at the moment we're in bushcraft. We then have stages 1 through 9 of bushcraft, and you can see at stage 4 it splits into pioneering and survival skills. What we need to do is click that it's complete, roughly enter the date awarded. So for Maria, if she joined in Cubs, we're actually going to go back to 2017. Said she joined in August, let's say December. And I'm going to select that for stages 1 and 2 for this particular demonstration. And you can see here awarded in. Now you want to actually select that if these were awarded in the Cub section, not the Scout section, you want to select that. The reason for that is otherwise, if you're selecting it in the section that the youth member is in, it will go towards their progressions for their peak award for how many progressions they need in outdoor adventure skills. So that is an important point to remember, to change which section they were awarded in. You'll then see here, I'm going to say stages 3 was awarded last year, say in February. And survival skills stage 4 was awarded last month. And this was actually the Cub section as well. And this is the Scout section. That way it will actually push the progressions properly. Something really important to do here is actually scroll down to the bottom of the page and remember to press the save button. If you don't press the save button here, it will unfortunately wipe this data that you've just spent time entering and make you enter that again. So remember to press save. So you can see now that bushcraft is blanked out and we can't edit that information. You'll go through that process for camping, for bushwalking, and for any of the specialist areas in the outdoor adventure skills that the youth member has achievements against. As you'll see with some of the larger ones, let's take vertical, it does break off into those 4 different discipline areas. So make sure to only award against the disciplines in which that youth member has achieved stage progressions. And always remember to come down and press the save button. Once you've completed outdoor adventure skills, we're going to move on to the personal development and unit management courses. This is the same process as our introduction to scouting and section. Maria's in the Scout section, she's quite a young Scout, so we're not actually going to enter a date against her personal development or leadership course as she hasn't attended one yet. Same with the adventurous journey, as the adventurous journey needs to be completed within milestone 3, and we're not going to enter an adventurous journey against Maria's profile. And same with the personal reflection. But they are all date awarded driven components of the data import wizard. Once you have entered all of those components, you need to actually save the entry submission for that data import wizard for that youth member. So you can see this submit all achievements button up the top right hand side. You're going to click on that, and that's going to give you a fairly direct flag to say that these components, once you select submit, cannot be changed in any way for that youth member. That's the one and only data import that you can do in this manner for this youth member. So it's important that you read the prompt. This is the final step. You're about to submit the Achievement Pathways data of the youth member. You can only do this once and it cannot be undone. So I'm going to select, I've entered the Achievement Pathways, and I'm going to select, I understand once submitted that data import features will be disabled. And then I'm going to press submit. Member import finished pops up on the top right hand side. And if we were to scroll across, we were entering information for Maria, and you'll see this completed button that comes up and is grayed out now. Now that now means that if Maria was to log into the system when it goes live for youth members, that Maria will be able to actually interact with the system, engage, start entering program ideas, entering special interest areas, outdoor adventure skills. For any of these other youth members that don't have the data import yet, they won't be able to do that, and they will get an error message that pops up on their page. So it is important that one of the first things you do is jump into the system when you get access and do this import data wizard so that the youth members can adequately engage in the system when they gain access. We anticipate that a data import will take roughly 3 to 5 minutes per youth member once you have organised the membership table and navigated your way into the system. So it's not an overly time heavy task, and we know that it's not ideal that we can't bulk upload. However, it is a way that actually gives us a tool we can use moving forward into the future to benchmark our youth members, to make sure that the milestones they're starting on the adequate milestone, so on and so forth. Thank you very much for watching our data import wizard run through, and it will be great to see your feedback on Scouts Terrain once it launches very soon.